unveils 7-point agendas.
Yes, and those are the headlines in the national dailies. You want to do well to get you a copy or read them online. One of the things that we do here is to really, really listen to you. And one of us had written to say, look, can we make the headlines more exhaustive? And that's what we've been doing. So we hope that we have been meeting you at the deepest point of your need.
Expectations.
Yes. So we're going to go into the headlines, the hot topics for this morning. Good morning, Adeyemi. He's joining us this morning.
Oh, yes.
For me, and good morning, Miracle. Good to have you back, Miracle. And good morning to all our listeners around the world.
Thank you so much, Adeyemi. Good to hear from you as well.
Thank you.
All right, Adeyemi, it's good to see you virtually. Virtually, and it's always a pleasure to have you joining us on the show this morning. How was your weekend?
Well, fantastic. When I joined the assembly of the Children of God yesterday to worship Him, and yeah, visited a couple of friends. Fantastic, fantastic. And
Awesome,
yours?
awesome, awesome. Let's get into it. So the first headlines we're talking about is in the Guardian newspaper. NRC MD names assaulted NTA journalist ambassador for media advocacy. The managing director of the Nigerian Railway Corporation, Dr. Kayode Okpeifa, has named the assaulted journalist Ladi Bala as ambassador for media advocacy. Okpeifa announced the honor during a press conference on Sunday at the Nigerian Union of Journalists FCT Council Secretariat in Abuja. He said the appointment symbolizes the corporation's renewed commitment to press freedom, respect for journalists, and the promotion of a safer working environment for media practitioners across the country. Bala, the immediate past president of the Nigerian Association of Women Journalists, was reportedly subjected to unprovoked verbal attacks by Okpeifa while performing her official duties in the aftermath of a train derailment along the Abuja Kaduna rail corridor. The NUJ FCT Council condemned Okpeifa's conduct, describing it as dehumanizing and a serious violation of press freedom. Okpeifa explained that his remarks made under intense pressure while managing the crisis were misunderstood as hostility towards the press. I wish to sincerely apologize for the regrettable remarks that I made, which were directed at a seasoned journalist and reflected poorly on both the NUJ, FCT, and NAWOJ. Acting under pressure and in the heat of the moment while trying to ensure safety, I uttered some unkind words for which I take full responsibility. He explained that the derailment involved 8 coaches and 1 locomotive, placing huge demands on his team to coordinate rescue efforts, inform the presidency and the public, and activate emergency procedures. On the day of the arrest, NRC's newly revised emergency protocol was immediately put into action. He went on to say some passengers had already traveled by to nearby towns, but we managed to trace them by phone. He said to her, I offer my fullest apology. I also extend the same to NTA, NAWOJ, and the wider journalism community. He described himself as a long-time advocate for human rights and trade unionism, and on and on and on. Why? So, Adeyemi, the reason why this article stood out to
Well,
me was because, a situation such as this, he's the managing director of the Nigerian Railway Corporation, and then he's having an altercation with not just an ordinary journalist, but she's the immediate past president of the Nigerian Women Association of Women Journalists. Then the next thing outside of the apology is she's now the ambassador, right, for media advocacy. This is literally on the heels of the Kwam 2 situation, where after the Kwam 1 and Kwam 2 situations, they were named ambassadors for aviation and all of that. Like, is this the way forward? Like, because as a woman, I can tell you for free that I can only imagine the words that were spoken to this woman while she was conducting her job. right? So in my head, I'm thinking, yes, you apologized, but I think that we have a larger issue at hand, which is, when a woman is involved trying to do her duty, or even on the streets of Nigeria, if you're walking on the streets, once there's a conversation with a woman, it's almost like she's not deemed as fit or equal to be having a conversation with a man. And I think that this is a cause for concern. I read just over the last week about a man who he had an accident. They rammed into two cars rammed into each other, and the as soon as he got out of the car and saw that the driver was a woman, he was like, "Look, call your husband. That's who I want to talk to." And we see this permeate, the fabric of our society. And this woman, she's not an ordinary journalist, and this is no disrespect to even journalists, but she was the immediate past president of, the Nigerian Women Journalists Association. What do you say to this? Isn't this is concerning, wouldn't you say?
Well, thank you very much, Fumi. It's so unfortunate that the way the women are being treated in our society. When you look at it, in all honesty, it's not only in Nigeria; it's everywhere in the world. And though, uh, literally, I'm going to say this morning that what Okwefa and the others have been doing are actually not acceptable. Uh, Particularly the way we behave in this part of the world when we are saddled with responsibility, when we're in the position of power, or when we have some sort of influence, we tend to see ourselves to be superior to every other person. That is a wrong notion, and that is the wrong way to assess ourselves. That is the wrong way to see ourselves as being, in power. Uh, you see, we need to understand that the moment you are out there as a head in any of the public space, you are a public servant according to the Constitution. You are a public servant and you are there to serve the people, and you must respect the dignity of the people. That is one. Now, let me now come back to the women folk as well. You see, uh, honestly, I hope you people will not roast me this morning. Yeah, I'm talking about you and Miracle and the other women alike. You see, you have a lot of role to play as well. For the men to really respect you, the women, you have big role to play, and particularly you, the media. Irrespective of your position, you see, it's becoming so obvious to the man that most of the women make their way up there through some sort of manipulation, or you want to call it seduction or whatever. And the way it is on the streets today, I always wonder. I do discuss with my wife. I'll tell her, I say, come, why is it that, let's even take a look at the advertisement space. When there is an advert, you see that in the advert, you have the women, and you have the men. The men will cover their body. They wear shirt and boxers also. Let's say they are at the poolside. You see them putting on, but the woman, you see, she'll be naked in most of the adverts. And even the way the women behave on the street, they are almost naked. And the way you see, they have so much subjected themselves to the men, to make the men to see them as they live on the men, that they are nobody without men. Until the women are able to take themselves, until you begin to teach the younger ones morals about how a woman should comport themselves, how a woman should carry themselves, how a woman should put some level of value on themselves so that the men will value them and appreciate them and esteem them. You see, until we are able to do that, we will continue to see men trying to harass the women
All right.
because you, so to some extent, I will say the women have sold themselves cheaply before the
Okay,
men. That's the
okay.
honest
So,
truth.
Adeyemi, we can understand the angle that you're coming from, but having to relate this with this particular story right now, there was a part where you talked about most of the women who got themselves to higher positions. We know how we can't, generalize that word most is more of
I
a
never
hasty.
said. I said, please, you don't be. Let's be
Hi,
careful with
Adeyemi.
words. I didn't say all the women. I didn't
I
say
don't know
all the
what.
women. Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
I did not say all the women.
You
I
used
did
the
not
word
say.
most.
I
You used
never.
the word
I did. I
most.
said assumption. The assumption is. The assumption is. And because you see, okay, I saw so many things, and we heard about so many things, we read about so many things when it comes to this aspect of women, climbing the ladder, how they tend to go to one man or one superior just to manipulate and get. You see, until the women, you see, we have women of great value. At least I can talk about your chairwoman, your chairman, that's Tom Okiwale, and the others, Ojo Wela and the likes are so many are there, the Fafa oil, they are outstanding, very, very outstanding. Of course, even those who are not at the top end of affairs, even those who are the locators that are of great value. Yes, but we have them fantastic. But you see, when you look at those who actually propel themselves in the ear space, in the social media and everywhere, you tend to see a lot of men, things that are horrible that ought not to be said about the women folk. So with this, what you are creating a particular view of a woman to a man. And what you are saying, Lutra, is that the women will, what I'm so, look, I'm one of the advocacy, those that advocate for women, that women should be given their right. And it's always, it pains me, it bothers me a lot when I see that even the women themselves don't respect themselves. That's my problem. My wife will tell you that. And even all the women that come around me, I try to educate them in this line. Because I want you women, you are stronger, you are industrious, you are resilient in every way more than we demand. But the moment you bring yourself so cheap before the man and you make yourself appear so cheap before the man will be trampling upon you. That's why the president of Nigeria, the late president of Nigeria could tell the wife that the only place that she's important is in the other room. So it's important. Women should come out and you see, okay, now let's see what happens in politics. How many women have been supporting the women to go out there? Until you people, we can feel your weight, until we can feel your presence, until we can see that, yes, when you are saddled with responsibility, you make a lot of difference. Okodia Wela as she is, no man anywhere can trample her, no man can insult her because she earned it. You're the chairman of Women Radio as well. No man can just talk her anyhow. It's not possible. But you see, when some level iota of information about you filters that does not speak right, especially on the course of morality, the men don't tend to respect. But in this case, it is absolutely wrong. And do not forget, let's give kudos to this Kayode Okwefa. He actually said it was under tension. And we must understand, look, when that incident happened that very particular day, I can imagine the position that man would be. He is the MD of Nigeria Railway Corporation and that accident happened, you don't expect him to be right-minded at that particular time. Everything that will be on his mind, his attention, that will take all of him, is how to make sure everything goes right. And apart from what happened, he will be thinking as well what could have caused it and how can he rescue the situation. So I tell you, nobody will speak to such person under that kind of situation will get it right.
Hi, Ademi. I
Yes,
understand what you're saying, right? And I'm happy that you actually redirected the conversation. However, I want to pick on something you said now to link to where you had been before. You said that we shouldn't really blame the man because he was under immense pressure, and that's what made him say unkind words. Now, when you were talking about women comporting themselves, I would love to ask if a woman, because we do not know, we were not there when this alleged altercation had happened. Now, if this woman had said unkind words in the line of her duty, I do not think okay, do you think that you would say the same thing? Because what you're doing is you're saying that because she's a woman, she has more of a responsibility in behaving herself better than a man. So what would you say to that? Because if this woman had gone ahead to say the same things that this man had said to her, we wouldn't be having this conversation. It would have, in fact, I think that this thing would have gone viral because it would have been a case of she was rude to the MD of the NRC.
Oh well, it still went viral. That is why the man came on to apologize. You must understand that whatever is wrong is wrong. There's no two way to paint it, and that is why he took it upon himself to come down. He came down to NUJ headquarters to apologize in person. He did not send anybody. He didn't do it in the social media or in the airwaves. He came in person to apologize. So you see, whether we like it or not, he made a mistake and he took to that he accepted it. He took responsibility and he came over. If it had been the woman, do you know the man might not have taken it so hard? The man will just look and say, well, men, that's the way women behave when they are in position. You just walk away. But you women, have you seen when you are driving on the road, anyway, a woman, when you are on the steering on the road, when you are begging a woman to give you way, do you see how they behave? Yeah. They will turn their eyes. They will behave as if you don't exist. And or maybe you are trying to manipulate, the two of you are trying to maneuver together, you will see that she will be strong-headed. Because why? She believes you, if she does that, you will think that she's weak. So that perception has been a sort of a guide, a defense to the woman that makes them to be uptight when they are taking certain decisions or when they are doing some certain things. Well, you are not the weaker sex. That's what you people don't need to understand. You are not the weaker sex. You are even stronger than the men. You are stronger than us. You can multitask. Can we really multitask like you women? No.
All right. All right, thank you very much for sharing your thoughts this morning, Adeyemi. And it just really points out to the fact that at the end of the day, the responsibility for good behavior is on both genders.
Both parties, yes.
Yeah. All right, let's take this call here. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Miracle.
Good morning.
To Gazi, Dubai, which of them?
Shebe, you sponsored my trip.
I don't understand. I'm curious.
Oh, my prince, we can barely hear you clearly. So please just do well to call us back, okay?
Yes, please.
Yeah, but then we've got some messages coming in this morning, and we'll take a look at that. But don't forget, this is the newspaper review on Your Women Radio 91.7. 3 minutes to 8. We have with us Adeyemi Adeolu. I am Miracle Philip.
And I am Fumi Bamgara.
All right, we have another call here. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
This is Evangelist Gibson calling from Oba Okera.
All right, you're welcome. Let's get your thoughts.
Thank you for giving me opportunity to speak. I really agree with what Adeyemi is saying. Me, as evangelist, I stop where Bible stop and I start where Bible stop because I'm a person that has the fear of God. See, the Bible is complete. God, we know nothing about it. I'm not trying to preach, but we know nothing about God created us to the Son of David because we don't follow it. As a public servant in everywhere, even in the Bible and everywhere. So maybe the greatest among the servants. When it comes to Bible, when it comes to the God created, the woman has a role to play, the man has a role to play. And God has made from the Genesis to a teacher, and God says, man is the head of the home. When man fell in the Garden of Eden, and Ephesians, Christ said, God said it. See, if only you can allow each person to play his way. As God said, man is the head of the home. He's the chief servant of the home. He's the son. He better be the chief servant. So I believe what Adeyemi said. Something he said, I believe the way woman and other business. That is only a small research. He said, what? As God said, man is the head. He said, the man progress and success will depend on the happiness of the wife also. So if you don't make your wife happy, so God balance everything up.
All right.
But this kind of equality before men and other business. You know what? I'm not trying to, as evangelist, you understand me. Please just follow the Bible and do this station will be a better place. I'm not putting them down. Exactly when you see them there and everybody. And I always consider because when they start like that, I just stop. That's what I'm telling you. There is a section as you rightly say. You understand what I'm saying? That's why we should teach our children. You understand me? To be where they are. God bless you. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Evangelist Dixon, for calling this morning. 07000 917 917 09155 917 917. The text and WhatsApp line 08155 917 917 0703 175 6537.
Yes, we're gonna go to the messages right now. This one says, "Good morning, crew. Beautiful Nubia said in his song, is money we look, we do not look at character. It is face that we look, we do not look at competence. That is why Aguero's rule over ignorant men, with due respect to your co-presenter last week." This is Dio. I didn't realize it was Dio on time. Because I am saying the gospel truth. Now I want to ask, how can you increase school fees of primary to university by 200% by taxing the daylight of Nigerians? Help the parents and students. Also, removal of subsidy and floating of the naira. Didn't it affect the foundation of the country that many parents couldn't send their children to school because of transportation and feeding? Look at the mass failure of JAM and WAEC. Our students that are okay, Dio, it seems like you keep on sending the same messages.
Yes,
because we have treated the JAM students' results and the WAEC one. So if it's possible, Dio, if you can send messages that are current
with the discussions that we had, and of course, Zaya, we observe that most times your messages are repetitive. The same thing you talked about last week, you bring it back again. I would like for you to be more creative and more recent and more current with what we are discussing. Okay, so that's what we would like to see. But let's take this call here. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, Miracle. This is Mr. Prince.
Okay, Mr. Prince, welcome back. Now we can hear you clearly.
Welcome back. And all thanks to Madam Fumi who sent you on that error.
Oh no, Prince! I thought it's you now. You have to send. You said you were asking now.
The money I sent was colonized by Madam Fumi. Okay. You're welcome. Fumi, good morning. Mr. Demi, good morning. I always say it on this. In fact, today is first. I don't need to talk about Nigeria. I want to thank God for a new month. But I always say this before now. If Natasha cried, nobody answered. If many of the women cried, nobody answered. If a woman was thrown from her upstairs down the ground and she died, the case became a buried case. At the end, they immortalized her. I believe you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
also, they went after her children. Mhm. No, no woman. In fact, the women, I don't know why you people are afraid. You have the population. I always say this. But 50 naira, 500 naira and cup of gari will not allow you people to open your eyes. You can evangelize yourself, eh? All over the crew. In fact, where your power relies is the villages, where the powers cannot go to. Those villages that these big top men cannot go to. Women, you can go there and gather yourselves, awaiting the real time. If you want a woman to be the president of Nigeria tomorrow, 2027, you can do it. There is nothing holding the women back. But because the men, you believe the men have more money than you are being subjected to penury, to impunity, to shame, to whatever you can call it. Uh, in fact, the whole thing I will say here is I play with the tape again and I listen to what that man said. If it had been the man that was insulted, imagine my wife insulting Tony Elumelu, for example. They will close down the entire Kogi state looking for my wife. But let Tony Elumelu insult my wife because I do not have the leg that he has. Nobody, nothing. It will become like a voice. Nothing. It will not even fly. But women, I want to beg you, please wake up. You see that Mr. Demi cannot answer that question you threw at him in the first place. Till tomorrow, he can't answer that question. He will not be able. All he can say is what he has said. Because women don't even know. They have not discovered themselves. I hand over the mic back to all of you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for your call this morning. We have some more messages here. Let's see. This is coming from Barrister Ogo Osuji from Festac. All right. Quite a lengthy message. Let's see how we can take it. Says, good morning, Women Radio presenter for me, Miracle Philip, and our analyst Adeyemi Adeolu. Welcome back to work, Miracle Philip, and I hope you had a wonderful rest. Thank you so much. I did. That Rivers State local government chairman and councillors elections charade that Rivers State High Court couldn't stop via an injunction was a corroboration of what a Canadian federal court adjudicated against PDP and APC political parties, labeling both with moniker names that are unprintable. Query: is Rivers State emergency rule and local government areas election charade to talk well about Nigeria's judiciary? No, no, no. As during the biblical time of the judges in Israel, Deborah, the daughter of Lapidoth, ruled Israel well, and could our own Nigeria, Deborah, and Law Lord at the Supreme Court getting it right with regards to different political infractions formulated by the executive arm to get pauperized multidimensional Nigerians in handcuffs by resorting to rule adjudication against the executive? No, no. Rather, Nigeria's judiciary had often chosen the part of dishonorable roles by condoning inanities of the executive and legislature, pretending to be the last hope of the common man. All right, let's take a look at another message.
Yeah, we have this one from Mayo. He says, good morning and happy new month to you all in the studio. We all know that in a free and fair election, Tinubu will fail woefully. Even the president knows that. But he is still talking because INEC and the judiciary are behind him. In River State local government election, Wike and Tinubu have achieved their goal, and this is the man that calls himself a Democrat. A Democrat indeed. This illegality is going to haunt Nigeria for a long time. Fellow Nigerians, where are those protesting in 2020, in 2012? Are they all dead? Evil reigns when men of good will remain silent. Thank you so much, Mayor from Kotumegbe, for your message. Next up, we have Olushoga Ajayi from Odonlai Corridor. He says, Tinubu fair to all care. Our politicians priority to their pockets. Speaking contrary to reality is very normal for them. What kind of lie is that? So the evidence that is looking at all of us is a liar, B. Thank you so much, Olushega from Odomla Ikoro. Finally, we have this one from to you guys. My interest in is the derailment of is very common in the north, and the leader in that region did not see this that it will give Nigeria a bad image. I think the leader in the north should look inward and find lasting solutions to the insecurity that has made Nigeria become debtors to international community, because the money we spent on this insecurity for over 16 years can make Nigeria become the richest in Africa. My advice to leaders in the northern region is they should unite against this insecurity to give Nigeria a rest of mind. He also says, first state local government election, the election has come and gone. The lesson is that the election is very peaceful, and whatever anyone wants to say, the sole administration has come on board. Whatever the administration did is based on law, because there was a period where the National Assembly cautioned him. All the money that the sole administrator spends was approved by the National Assembly, and take home on the Rivers State local government is very peaceful compared with the way violence always trails the election in Rivers State. Go and check history. Additional Wasio in a corridor.
All right, keep the messages coming. It is right now 8 minutes after 8.
Mm.
07000 917 917. The text and WhatsApp line for you to send your messages: 08155 917 0703 1756537. There are a lot of tragic events that are occurring in the country, and most times the questions always beg, who takes responsibility? Well, this is a very sad one, actually. It's from the Tribune newspaper. It says Dangote Group reacts to death of Phyna's sister hit by company's truck. The Dangote Group has reacted to the death of Ruth Otabo, the younger sister of reality TV star Ijoma Josephina Otabo, generally known as Phyna, who was confirmed dead earlier today by her family lawyer. In a statement uploaded on the company's official X account on Sunday night, the management expressed sadness over the development, describing it as a tragic loss. In their words, "We are deeply saddened by the passing of Ruth Otabo, who was injured in the recent road incident involving one of our trucks in Archie, Edo State. On behalf of the entire Dangote Group, we extend our heartfelt condolences to her family, friends, and loved ones at this difficult time." This tragic event occurred on August 18, 2025 in Edo State, and it left Ruth severely injured. According to the statement, Dangote Group officials and insurance partners had been providing financial and medical support to the victim's family since the event. Arrangements had been made for her to be flown to India for advanced treatment pending medical clearance from her doctors. Sadly, despite these efforts and Ruth's brave fight to live, we lost her today. It was a very, very sad situation, a very sad story. And, I can only imagine how the family would feel about this. But, Demi, I want to come to you now. How do we balance the personal grief of families like Phyna's with the broader ethical responsibilities, especially of corporations, especially when they are involved in this? What do you think should be put in place to prioritize human dignity, even when particular businesses are involved?
Thank you very much, Miracle. Well, it's a tall one actually, but the Yoruba will say there is no how difficult a word will that will use knife to cut it. Um, in this case, you see, before I will really deal into it, uh, I think we need to hold Dangote company responsible. Uh, had it been when Phyna was shouting that they should take the sister to India, and they responded immediately, Even if peradventure she eventually dies, who would understand by then that they have tried their best? But as it is, they were reluctant. It took them time. And then now, after the girl has passed on, they now told us that they were making arrangements. Had it been it were to be Dangote's daughter, would they be making arrangements? Or they will have made arrangement that that girl be flown out of the country immediately? That's one aspect that we need to look into. Talking about corporations and incidents like this, what could be done? How do we make ways? When incidents like this happens and has to do with corporation, they have, I know that there are departments in corporation that are saddled with responsibilities such as this. Talk about the HR and the legal departments. They are the major ones that are responsible to see to incidents like this. But our problem lies with the justice system. That's the truth. Because the first place of call when situation like this arises is the police station. How do they behave when it comes to corporation being involved in matters like this? You will see that they are always on the side on the corporation, because the corporation, one way or the other, tend to meet their needs, especially if they are in their jurisdiction. And that actually has been causing a lot of problem, that most of these corporations, they do get away with it. But I think the best thing that we could do as a people is that there should be an emergency. There should be a body. I think we need to speak to the NBA and the justice system, the judiciary of this nation. When matters like this occurs, uh, the best place to go, I don't think it is the police station first, because especially when that's with corporations, because we know the police, one way or the other. I'm sorry that I'm pointing the finger more on the Nigerian police, because they are the first responder when it comes to matter like this, and the FRSC. But when it comes to you know going further with the matter, it is always the police. But the way they handle matters, especially when it has to do with corporation, it is my concern for this morning. So what we can do is that, like Lagos State has been trying to put everything in place, making sure that nobody suffered one loss or the other. So I think it's important is that the so-called NBA, like our NBA and the justice system, will there should be a body that will be saddled with that responsibility when there are issues. Apart from accident of this magnitude, apart from the road accident, there are other accidents or accident that happens in corporations, even right there in their place of work, in their factories. You know that at the end of the day, the workers end up being the loser. They end up throwing them out, particularly maybe they cut their hands or their fingers, or one thing or one injury or the other happened to them. You see them throwing them out at the end of the day. So these people they become the loser. So that is why I said it's important that we should look at the justice system to look at this area and be able to establish a particular body that will see to this, so that Nigerians will not continue to suffer at the hands of the big corporations, because they have the money, they have the everything, they have the capacity. When they go to court, they will always have their way. When they go to the police station, the first place of call, they will always have their way. But for the people not to suffer, Nigerian system has to do something in that respect. Let's establish a body that will see to this. And we have the Nigeria Emergency Management Agency. those one they only come in to rescue. As that, okay, I think even in that place, we should also have a body that should will be saddled with the legal aspect when situation like this arises. So that because they are the one that will have first knowledge of the accident. And with that, the report should be able to make things better. The report will enhance their case. So it is important that we look at this because corporation, a lot of people have suffered right from day one. And it is because the government, every successful government in this country, they have been protecting all these corporations because in the course of election, even while in the military era, they were, giving them some things. They were enjoying some privileges from these corporations. So with that, these corporations become sacred, untouchable. And that is why you see what has been happening. People have been shouting, particularly in Dangote truck, that has been killing people here and there, that nothing has been done. If not for the fact that Phyna she's a celebrity, this case will have just gone down under without being in the airspace and nothing is being done about it.
All right, all
But
right.
as it is,
Okay, thank you very much, Adeyemi, and I love how you drew that back to base, because it's not just about Fina is and her family. It's about the larger population of Nigerians who have also been affected by issues of road accidents, especially involving trucks owned by corporations. What do you think must be done, to better improve road safety concerns in Nigeria, DME? In just 2 minutes, please.
oh well, you see, I would have loved to say in the course of talking, but let me put it this way: the road safety and the VIO, they have major roles to play when it comes to accidents on our road, particularly with the trucks. They're all, like I said, that in Scotland, I made reference to Scotland some times ago. That you see, these articulated trucks, they are meant to check them. We should introduce again one, that weighing bridge that you have at the toll gate before you can embark on a journey with your cargo. Let there be way so that you'll be able to know if the capacity of the vehicle that you are traveling with that's containing that load can carry it or not. One, then there should be regular checking of the brake system of this articulated vehicle. The brake system is not like the regular vehicles that you and I drive. It is not the same. And the tires as well. You see, every the roadworthiness of the vehicle should be done every six months. With that, you'll be able to know the position of the vehicle, whether it's roadworthy. If a vehicle is not roadworthy, let that vehicle, irrespective of the corporation or who owns it, let that vehicle be taken off the road. When you travel on the highway, you will see articulated vehicles that are fully loaded, and you will see that their chassis are gone. You will see that the lines of their tires are gone. So when these vehicles are descending slopes, hills, you will see that it will be difficult for that vehicle, for the brake system to be firm. So these are one of the major problems until our VIO, vehicle inspection service, are able to understand that it is not for them just to look at people's paper. They should concentrate more. We have seen that even at checkpoints, trailers are not being stopped. They just zoom by. The cars, the commercial buses, and the are being stopped. But these articulated vehicles are never. So they are not superior to anybody. As long as they are on the road, they are subjected to the traffic law of the country. And so, therefore, henceforth, let the Nigerian police, the road safety, and the VIO be able to make sure that they check all these vehicles. If they are not roadworthy, take them out of the road.
All
It
right.
does not matter who owns them.
Thank you very much, Adeyemi Adeolu. Let's get to look at some of the messages. But if you've just tuned in, this is 22 minutes past 8 on your Women Radio 91.7, and it is the newspaper review. All right, we have here is a message from Dr. Mrs. Ma Olibara, watching on Facebook from Owerri. It says, we are okay. So we call this charade in Rivers election. What a country indeed. A lot of illegalities and unacceptable things keep going on, and we keep quiet and allow things to keep degenerating to this level. So this is how they have killed democracy in Nigeria. I whip for my country. To neglect the education of our children is not just to look for trouble, but to guarantee trouble. We also have here from Modi, from watching on Facebook, says we are the same in everything we do, both men and women. Bad behavior isn't gender specific. My problem with women is the issue of domestic violence and rape. They never believe that a man can be victims of such, hence they laugh it off. Imagine a man walks up to you and tells you that he was raped by women or abused. The way some women will laugh at it, even you in the studio will laugh at it and chase him away. You will hear things like, time for you to have a taste of your own medicine. If you are not my family member and you come to me as a woman complaining of being raped or abused, I will ignore you because women will do the same. Well, Modi, we don't encourage you to do that actually. If you've listened to us long enough on Women Radio, you know that we also get to say that the issue of domestic violence and rape also affects all genders, and it's something that we stand against. Some more messages.
Yes, this one is Hayford Osage. He says, for me, our vote doesn't count. Leave it or take it. That's the hard truth. If Mr. President Tinubu chooses to go for a second time, he will, and nothing will stop him. He also goes on to say, may her gentle soul rest in peace. That is to Phyna's sister. It's quite unfortunate that Nigeria is a lawless country where people think that they can do anyhow without punishment. Goes also to say, Dangote no try for that girl. If she were to be his daughter, would he have overlooked it? Truly, we live in a wicked world. Thank you so much for your messages. Unfortunately, we have run out of time. In the studio this morning. Many thanks to you, Adeyemi. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show today. It was a bit heated at the beginning, but thank you for always, coming with passion and with objectivity on the show. Many thanks to our parliamentarians, to our valued listeners, our commenters. We see you, we appreciate you, we value you. With that being said, this is the end of the Full Breakfast Show morning for today.
And beautifully, well, the first day of
the month of September. Yes.
Oh, yes. So we'll leave you in the hands of music all the way till coming up at 9 will be the news at 9, and at 9:05 will be Her Lens. I am Miracle Phillip.
And I am Fumi Bamgala.
And we're encouraging you to do the right thing all through the month of September.
Yes.
There is something missing in the world today. It's the one thing that can make the world okay. And it doesn't cost nothing, no, you don't even